Okay, it is December 10th, 2019. We'll call the Floyd County Board of Supervisors regular meeting to order. First item on our agenda is to approve our agenda.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve our agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2, public comment, and we're even missing. We have a public comment.
Hey,
This is a new one.
Well, I see on item 8, I believe it is. And I wanted to make a brief comment about that. A number of years ago, Floyd County began recognizing the birthday of Martin Luther King as Jr. as an official holiday. I'm certain that you're aware that Dr. King was one of our nation's preeminent civil rights leaders in our continuing struggle to provide equity to all people. His birthday will be celebrated as an official holiday this year by the federal government, the state of Iowa, the Federal Reserve Banking System, the Charles City School District, and many, if not most, states and localities across our country. When Floyd County first officially observed this holiday, it was meant to be confirmation that we are a welcoming and respectful community. I hope that by your actions today, we continue to project that image. Thank you.
Any more public comment? Item 3, review action regarding approval of November 25th, 26th, and December 2nd, 2019 meeting minutes.
And I read through the minutes, I didn't see any concerns with them, so I'll move to approve November 25th, 26th, and December 2nd, 2019 meeting minutes.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes of November 25th, 26th, and December 2nd. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 4, review action regarding approval of claims. I'd like to add something there. I think the claims are fine, and I would make the motion to approve them, but I would like to include a letter drafted to all departments and to point out we have some discrepancies. None of them are big, but just to remind people that one of them might be borderline credit card policy violation, and if we're not going to adhere to those rules, we would ask that the credit card be returned, and then they can do it by reimbursement. Just an awareness letter.
And I know I would agree with that. It was good to go through all of the claims, that we did yesterday, but, clearly, we just want to remind everybody on use of the credit card.
Right.
I agree with that. And you made the motion, Doug?
I did.
I'm going to second that.
Okay.
And I agree, yes, we absolutely, our recourse on credit cards is to remove them and just reimburse. So the credit card is an option for us to make life easier for everybody, but it's not an absolute.
Requirement. Okay, been moved and seconded to approve the claims.
I'm sorry, I missed you second.
Roy did.
Roy did, okay, sorry.
Yeah, Doug made the motion.
Yep.
Been moved and seconded to approve the claims as presented and the inclusion of a letter to our department heads reminding them of credit card policy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 5, review action regarding Iowa Child Abuse Prevention Program application on behalf of the FMC Governance Board / Learning Connections with Floyd County as the contractor. So we heard from that yesterday.
Yeah, and I guess from what I've gotten here this morning, they need us to just agree to be the fiscal agent for that. So
Contractor. Contractor.
Contractor. Okay, contractor, fiscal agent.
So what's the difference between contractor and fiscal agent?
There's 2 separate spots on the application.
Okay.
Where it was
So,
contractor.
but then- and
Because
this is-
it's
they're the
doing
same
some
thing.
of the same thing, right? I think that's the way I looked at it.
And from what they presented yesterday, this is a good program, and we've had discussion about how we'd administer it, and so
Right.
with that, I'm gonna make a motion to authorize Floyd County to be the contractor fiscal agent for the Iowa Child Abuse Prevention Program grant pending a successful award of funds.
All right, and I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Iowa Childhood Abuse Advention Program application on the behalf of the City Governance Board Learning Connections with Floyd County as the contractor.
It's not on behalf of the governance board, though. It's on behalf of the CPPC. That was a clarification that was made yesterday.
Okay.
That it's CPPC, not governance board.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry, it's on the agenda.
It was on,
Yep.
our agenda.
okay, the motion is with the
Yeah.
clarifications
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Sarah has pointed out. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6, review action regarding business property tax credits, and those applications were laying here.
They were here,
Floating
yes.
around. I saw yesterday there.
I didn't want them to get away too
No,
far.
that's
so-
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they've all been approved by the assessors and,
Yeah, they
Recorder,
usually write a
yeah.
note if there's any reservations, anything, so I think all 22 were.
Since there's nothing on here saying there was any issues.
okay.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the business property tax credit for those 22 applications.
And I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded to approve the 22 applications that we have for business property tax credit. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 7, review action regarding consideration of Vanguard hosted public access portal for property GIS information and discontinuation of the Schneider hosted site. After we heard from that yesterday, we decided that
We're missing some
there's no new
information.
information.
No.
Right, and at this point, we want to table that.
Table this until a specific date or just a specific?
Well, if
A
they
future
had
date.
I would say future, I
Typically,
mean,
when you do a motion, you're supposed to table to a date.
Right.
we could
Um,
pick one, I suppose, and
Yeah.
see whether they have information at that time.
We talked
about
yesterday.
Monday's special
Yeah.
meeting.
16.
Yeah, yesterday was the 16th was our
Right,
special
yeah.
meeting, so we could table
Okay.
it till
Yeah.
then. I'll make a motion that we table this item till December 16th for our special meeting and be put on the agenda again.
All right, and I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to move this action to December 16th at our next special meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 8, review action regarding LEC courthouse project contracts and change orders as applicable. And one of them is we have a contract in there from
Is Brett calling in, or?
MPC.
Maybe leave that one to last, maybe. I
Just-
think he was gonna come.
Well, I saw a car out there, that's why I wonder if, I was late, so I didn't really go through and see.
There were-
He's in the
I can do the
office.
other items and see. if-
Yeah, there were a couple people in the office down there when I walked by, but I
Yeah.
did not stop.
But I thought Brett was gonna be here too, but,
You want him to come up? Do you want me to call down there?
yeah, just see it.
Turn that down there. I think we're gonna answer.
Nobody calls us down here.
It's usually, he said, mentoring calls when the phone rings.
Hey, this is Doug Cam up in the supervisor's room. Is Brett there?
That's, you have Brian.
Yeah,
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brian.
This is Doug Cam up in the supervisor's room.
Yeah,
Is Brett there today?
yeah, he's down here, yep.
Can you,
What's that?
we're in our meeting and just wondering if he's available to come up?
Okay, yep, I'll check with him right now.
Okay,
Okay.
I heard him in the background.
And, well, and, Prohaska. That was Bill from Prohaska.
Oh, Bill's here too.
Oh. Do you want to go on to item 9?
well, let's go on to item 9. While we're waiting for him to come in, it'll be an extended conversation when he gets here. Review action regarding the 2020 holiday schedule. So,
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
right,
Yeah, that was a discussion. I had one comment, and Frank is actually the one that contacted me about it. I struggled with this one. I thought a lot about it after I heard from him. And, I thought about different people that I've talked to, our CSS board members, which is 22 county represented, you know, the norm is, or the majority is to use President's Day as the holiday. And I think the thing that people forget is that because we give people a day off doesn't, or don't give people a day off, doesn't mean they can't observe a day. And they can do things based on that. You know, I get a little frustrated with that.
It is not meant to be an intentional slam or,
No,
as Frank
no.
seemed to point out here.
And
No.
I think too, you know, the comment that he made, that we want to make sure that we're respectful. I want to say we are, you know, I in no way want to make it sound like we're not, you know, by choosing one over the other.
Right.
So,
And how many years did we do some kind of a program here in the courthouse? I know we did it 1 year, 2 years.
We did carry and we did.
Yeah, and even if we
Was
don't
that one
use it
time?
as the holiday for our schedule, doesn't mean that we still can't have a program in the courthouse that day.
absolutely, absolutely.
Or, and if you look at the federal government, they take Columbus Day, and what are the other ones that they take that we don't?
Yeah, that we don't.
So it's not our,
No.
but
Right,
I still, I guess, and I appreciate your comments too, because I was thinking more about it also, but I in no way, you know, feel that this isn't still the right direction. I would still move for, which is that we take President's Day for 2019. And, you know, we can always revisit this, because again, we said it yesterday, it's not in the handbook. This is something that I believe, you know, every year we can always revisit. You know, and maybe we'll have, you know, a
just
change
because
next
of
year,
the way
you
it
know,
falls,
but
you're going to revisit it every year. just-
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of,
I think it's on the computer, is it, I think it's the only place we
It was
had it.
on yesterday's
Right.
packet, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
there.
So we're gonna use President's Day, and we're gonna do a half a day on Christmas Eve, with the intention of closing the courthouse at noon.
Okay.
Right, so is that your motion?
That's what we
Well,
wanted, was a
Then I
specific
know, not
time.
just those two.
No, it-
10 holidays.
Yeah, no,
So-
the rest of them are what we discussed, yes.
So we probably should go through each one of them.
And then have holidays.
We have New Year's Day, we're gonna take President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, which will be taken on Friday, July 3rd, because the 4th falls on Saturday.
Right?
Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, the Friday after Thanksgiving, and on Christmas Eve, we take half a day, and we close the courthouse at noon, and Christmas Day is Friday, December 25th. Those are the days.
And I will make that motion.
Okay?
All right, and I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the holiday schedule that I just read off. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And I do
You
want
get
to add to
day
the,
off.
and I do want to add to the public that if somebody wants to have a program on Martin Luther
Absolutely.
King Day, we will definitely support it. I will at least.
Or President's Day.
Or
Any
President's
day.
Day,
Any day you want.
absolutely.
Either one,
Yep.
We are open to that.
right.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Back to item 8, review action regarding LEC courthouse project contracts and change orders as applicable. And Brett is here to. We have the contract from MPC, and the clarification.
Clarifications to contract agreement.
Is there anything else?
Is there
That's it.
anything that we need to be aware of?
Nope,
Okay.
we've all discussed it, the CO was signed off on weeks ago,
Okay.
so it's just their contract.
All right, so, again, I guess we're back to, do we make this all one motion or two separate?
Do we have more than this one?
Well, it'd be the agreement. I'm just saying, approve the contract itself with them and the clarifications to the contract agreement. Doesn't really matter if we do them both in one motion. Okay. All right, so I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the MPC contract with the total amount being at $1,339,400 and also including the clarifications to contract agreement.
And I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the MPC contract and clarifications. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I did, and I didn't have the clarifications in front of me, so I
It's the
guess
last
I'll.
page of the attachment.
Pardon?
It's the last page of the attachment.
It's the last page of the attachment, because the one question I had was, there was, in the contract, it talked about the cleanup of mud and stuff on the street and everything, actually. Is that in the clarifications?
It's in the clarifications.
Okay.
And I've also discussed with MPC.
Okay.
Every contractor comes on this side.
Good.
I've
Did
asked
you
them, so-
mention that?
I knew that, and I was just reading through it, and that one caught my eye, and I thought, okay.
Contractors have learned from your experience, they don't want me doing their cleaning. It gets
Okay.
real expensive.
There's a sentence right there. Owner, construction manager agrees to provide timely notice to contractor concerning back charges.
Yep.
And that's where those back charges come from.
Yep.
Clean
Okay.
clean it straight up, pay the bill.
Yep.
Thank
Or
you.
do it yourself.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
so that's coming
Okay.
there.
Great.
That's all I have.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So, we got anything else other than that one?
You guys have young, don't you? Young plumbing and heating?
We haven't done that yet, no.
We were trying to figure out that,
Well, we still
Well-
have some action items on
Yep.
that one, and that's what we were.
It really comes down to, yeah, I mean, my feeling is we're gonna use young construction. Those numbers that they provided us early on may not be the final numbers that we use, but some of that comes from the clarification of the plumbing board, and,
Yep.
I was gonna make an attempt to talk to them, and the plumbing board hasn't met yet, so I'm of the opinion we should sign their contract and.
Yeah, all their numbers are good and they're great. They're working with us, and they've been working with us, they're ordering material, so you'll get some contractors that they won't do anything until you
And
sign
this
their
won't be the
contract.
first
Right.
or the last
Yeah.
change order.
Yeah, oh, it'd be nice if it was the last one.
So, there was no clarification to that, young
Nope,
one, it was just
not at
the
all,
contract.
just the contract.
Okay.
And then, yeah, ideally it'd be their contract and then whatever decisions are made on the DEI.
We're not agreeing to those change orders, we're just agreeing to the contract.
Yep. Yep. Just so I can get them a signed contract, get in front of them, they feel a little bit more comfortable.
I was gonna
and-
say, I'm gonna do a search. I know, sorry, we did not have that readily available.
Well,
I'm
it's
trying to
because
pull it
it's
up.
been
It's
not
been-
taken action, it's been
right.
chosen not to take action in the
Right.
past, so it wasn't included in anything.
And I also have 2 hard copies in front of me too.
Do we have it, young?
It was
see
emailed
that
to you
a long
You got
time
2
ago.
hard
yeah,
copies.
I'm trying to,
Can I see that, Brad?
Yep, there are, let me make sure it's the right one. 2 right here.
Okay. Let's see.
And let me look, cause I got it back yesterday.
Schindler's, we did, Midwest Roofing.
So now you are okay with approving it without knowing what the change orders are going to be?
Yeah, after talking with Paul and Mick Gage is a member of the plumbing board, those decisions have to be made by them, and it sounds to me like they're going to
well,
approve them as they come on.
I was gonna say, and the truth of the matter is, if they don't approve it, we're still gonna hire Young Plumbing to do the work, and we're just gonna
Right.
Yeah,
not have those changes done.
Yep.
As long as Young is willing to abide by the changes and the dollars that
Yep.
he's stated, or
Right.
they've stated,
and like I said, young plumbing is not a concern of mine. Like I said, they've been on numerous calls with
Yeah.
us, worked with the architects. They're, if they were one that said, I'm not doing anything until the contract's signed, I'd be a little bit more concerned, but they're not at all.
All right, well.
Do you
And
need
it's
the
a
electronic
standard
copy of it?
What's that?
I'm
Do you need
looking
the
for it.
electronic copy?
No, we got the hard copy,
We
and
got-
it's just the AIA.
All right, so with that, I'll go ahead, make a motion then to approve the Young Plumbing and Heating contract at the amount of $2,725,400.
and I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Young Plumbing contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Or do you
Sold.
want this
I
one
need
for
to
the
sign
Left
signed?
is- Those are the last ones.
The only one we have left is sweeper, which is the detention contractor.
Right.
And they're still trying to get, VE items on a different chemical manufacturer for me.
Okay.
So I actually emailed them again yesterday for an update on it and haven't heard back. So now they get an email every day until I do hear back.
You want me to sign these?
Yep,
Okay.
if you got two of them, you can,
Yep, yeah.
they did approve the other one. I only got one copy and planned on scanning and emailing it to Melissa, if that's okay for the NPC.
Yeah.
You need a copy?
And actually-
Yeah.
Sign one.
I have two MPC ones too.
Well, there you go.
So if you wanna sign one of those, I can just take one of those back and give
You
it to
sign
her.
both of these ones or just one?
Because I know it'll happen as soon as I work in the office in the morning.
Got the other one too. Do you want Doug to sign your second copy on the,
Young,
you said you had two copies
Yep,
in Young.
yep.
Do you want him to sign the other one too?
Sure, yeah,
You don't
because
have one signed by Young yet, though?
I did. Are those the ones I, nope, I don't, because he sent them later. I printed those off early.
Okay,
So you
you
can
want me
just
to
scan
print
those.
ours and then sign
Yep.
those and then?
Okay.
Yeah, which works out well, because then we always have a electronic version
I got to find it.
that's searchable.
And is that signed by MPC also? If not, I've got the MPC one. It's got the signature.
That one should be. The young, I know he sent later in the day, so.
So Doug needs to sign yours, the copy of the NPC.
Yeah, or either two of those or this one. It's just the young one I'll reprint for Doug to sign. It's got the signatures on it. From MPC. I can find it. I don't remember if that came from you or from Melissa.
For young,
Yeah.
probably would have came to Melissa. I usually
I
send to
thought
her
Melissa
first.
sent.
Who get them?
He gets one, I get one.
Thank you.
I need to sign that other one.
No, only one. I gotta find the, I'm not finding it. Next to be times.
I just resend it as well.
Oh my goodness, what kind of attachment?
I guess you guys got it.
Yes, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, all kinds of
Yes.
attachments to it.
no, BBB.
That's performance bond and payment bond.
It should be attached to the same email. It's one
Which
you
one are you
know.
looking for, Sam, or,
Okay, there's a PDF.
yeah?
Yeah.
I got it. Well, I got all the, I got all the emails, I didn't get the contract.
Something I like about sending things from the phone.
No, I got it.
I'm not seeing a contract.
I see the
Performance
VE
bond.
items,
What's it?
the VE items document.
That's the one I forwarded. I thought I had the contract, but that was the VD.
No, that's all that was.
Otherwise, it's just the performance bond.
Yeah.
There's no,
Paperwork.
I mean, there's 4 pages there, but it's not.
See if that one works. No, I'll do the same thing.
Well, you can send it to
I was
us.
gonna say, you can
Right.
at least try to
Yeah.
find it and send it. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
There's lots of them there.
yeah.
When I'm reading the email that says attaches the signed contract, and when I bring it up, it's a performance bond,
Yeah.
Great.
That's
Right.
one.
Yeah,
which he didn't send through to us till this morning.
okay.
I don't see it from Melissa either.
find it and send it on.
Yeah,
Well, and the good thing, I have my computer downstairs,
absolutely.
so I can,
Yep.
it's a lot easier to get on my computer and do it.
Yep. We've got the hard copies, so.
So that's it.
That's it.
We're up to date.
Okay.
Yep, the only thing, like I said, is sweeper and every contract's out.
Okay.
Any comments about the project itself, or?
Now, we're moving, the only thing we're waiting on right now is in beds from the precaster.
Okay,
That's what we were doing downstairs, because I actually texted and asked if you guys needed me, because we're working with some stuff with Bill Hewitt, the architect. Some elevator issues that we resolved that are good now.
okay.
We still want to get foundations in this year, but we're fighting the weather now. So, I know Wick's blanketed where the footings and the foundations go in, but it's all weather
I
now.
got the contract.
37 degrees at the end of the week.
Yeah, well, that's why I love these little spurts of
You know, they go
5-degree
up
weather.
and down, it's
Yeah.
just a roller
Yeah.
coaster. I was trying to look out too and look and see what the,
Well, it's like yesterday, we weren't supposed to get anything until 3 in the afternoon. I looked out my window at 9 in the morning, it was white out.
yeah.
People are spinning out, and there was that
Yeah,
pile
we
up
heard
on
what
me.
happened down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a mess.
yeah, I watched the video of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Made national news.
oh, yeah.
And then Sunday, it was 60 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even take, I mean, it was warmer yesterday morning than it was
60 degrees.
at 3 o'clock in the
Wait
afternoon.
for,
I told you, I didn't say 70.
I got a
I
contract
said
there now.
60.
Yep.
you got a contract, a signed one? A signed one?
No,
I don't know where it went now.
you lost
I
it.
just- No, I just,
Um,
Oh, I had the value, young plumbing value.
yeah, it's pretty young plumbing.
Got a contract.
Let me try this a different way.
Yeah, I got it, it was in the, I'm not seeing if it's signed yet, but yeah, it's signed
From Young.
from Young.
Can you print to the printer over here?
Hmm?
Can you print to the printer over here? Are you saying?
You should be able to.
Yeah.
The printer that's attached to your laptop is this one in her office.
How do I do that?
Just go there. Click on that and
One page of 7.
Yes.
print.
Who'd you get it from? Me?
Hmm?
Who'd you get it from?
Yeah,
It was in this group.
it was in that whole group, I think it's the first,
It's the first one, you think?
I think so. Well, that's what I told Bill earlier on, everybody gets pretty wound up when it's 40 degrees, but their appetite goes away pretty fast when it gets 0.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Butch Wick's out there working right now and trying to get their equipment started.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I was always a fan of plugging them in at the end of the day.
So mine are in this
So you can
format, but
send
it
it to the printer.
showed up in the first one, the PDF.
We'll see, and I don't have.
Came at 9:26. Yeah, well, every time I show up on a job like that, they always remind you, we had a week of really good weather, you didn't have to wait until today.
I got it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all we're doing is plugging everything in every night.
Yeah, the only other thing was the email I sent yesterday. That's how we want to handle the payouts.
Yeah, so explain
Yeah.
that a little bit more. I'm glad you brought that up.
So, obviously my pay apps, I'm just now starting to send them in now.
Yeah.
So, per AIA, because architects write those, they go to the architect first and then they sit there for who knows how long. And then they come back and then they get sent to you guys for approval. Usually it slows down the process, and the concern I have is if they're not up here every couple weeks to check progress, how are they gonna check the percentages complete for the pay application? What we do at like Dallas County, Law Enforcement Center, Clinton, a lot of them is we would just send it to you guys and then copy the architect and say, hey, if you have any concerns or issues, just let us know. This is going in front of the board to get approved whatever day, which just speeds up the process so everybody's reviewing at the same time.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, I saw that email and I tried to put the dates together because you said the 25th of the
There are two
month
places
before,
there.
I think
and
there's
then
one.
14 days, and,
I don't know about the writing section, by the way. Those are the
Oh.
ones that aren't signed. Let me just put them.
you know, somehow it has to fit into that second or fourth Tuesday normally,
Yep.
unless we're gonna do something special.
And that's why I was thinking, if I set up a progress meeting at the very an OAC meeting like today, at the very beginning of the month,
Right,
like, then it could be the exact same thing, as in, you'd have the board meeting, the payout could go for approval, any other issues we have, and then everybody's here for the OAC meeting as well.
so does that work for you then, I guess, would be, if you wanna do it at the beginning, it would be the second Tuesday?
Right.
Well, after what Prohaska put us through with this building, I'm not in the mood to give them a pass on anything. They need to make sure that they're doing that, and if they wanna hold up the payouts, they can pay the interest to the contractors.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because normally not normally, we're required to have any pay applications from the contractors by the 25th of the month. So I can have my pay application done and submitted by the 1st of the month. And then obviously approval and
Yeah.
so.
Right.
So that gives you what you need then, as far as
Yeah.
being able to.
Yeah, because I mean, that
First
second
meeting.
Tuesday can be the 13th, correct?
Hmm?
It can be up to the 13th of the month.
Because of it falling the second Tuesday of every month.
Right, if it's the
So-
second Tuesday.
That's why I just wanna make sure, so it's not right way at the beginning of the month, depending on where that second Tuesday falls.
Yep.
So if you're okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you guys would have to put together a special meeting.
Or we can do that too, I mean, it's not a problem, but, I mean, we're already scheduled for the second
Yep.
Tuesday of every
Typically,
month,
it's in by
so.
the 20, that's what you always aim for, 25th, first of the month.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
you know, we're gonna pay them in the minute we sign the claim, she'll print the check.
yeah.
Actually, by the 14th, yeah, so I just,
that's fine.
And if that's the way it works
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Okay,
that'll work.
The only issue you run into is when you have like, and it's usually public, or not public, but private bid stuff, is you'll submit your pay application, it could be up to 30 days before they even send that check out. Oh, yeah.
I did some work for the Hardee's Corporation, and they banked in Montana. And it came to light that that was their method operation because that was the slowest mail system from the state of Montana. So you could wait up to 8 days to get that check from Montana.
Wow.
And they would, well, it's been mailed.
they could say
But
it.
they,
They had
They
checks
could
in the
say it.
mail.
They got checks in the mail.
never been a Hardee's since. Yeah,
Because-
there's all kinds of tricks out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, for instance, your email said that you were gonna send it that afternoon, that you made this email, which was on the 9th. Well, if you sent it on the 9th, it didn't get paid on the 10th. Because we have to have it by the 4th.
Well, this one I haven't sent yet.
Okay,
Because I knew I was coming up here today,
No,
wanted
that's
your guys'
fine.
opinion on it, so.
because then now it won't end up on our agenda for payout until the 24th.
uh,
Okay. And that's assuming we get it in the courthouse on the 18th.
Yeah,
Okay. Because it's the Wednesday, Tuesday.
yep. And ideally from here on out, it'll be sent to you guys with Nebraska copied by the 1st of every month. So you guys will have it for
Okay.
review and
Review.
whatever you need it for, yep.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Good. Item 10, Dusty's up.
You can stick around or you can go back downstairs
I
if
better
you
go,
want.
I better go make sure we're getting these things squared away, so.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
See you.
Thank. Item 10, review action regarding hiring Bruce Kabrick as an equipment operator 2 for secondary road department.
So I went through all the interviews. I think I can't remember how many I had. I think I had 14. I can't remember how many I did. Bruce basically has been working at Bolero since February of last year. Before that, he was 5+ years at Farmers Feed and Grain. He lives down here on 240, it's not too far from the
He's
shop.
been interested in wanting to get a job, I know, in the county for
Yeah.
a long time. so-
Yeah, he interviewed a couple of times. I mean, there's a lot of these guys that have interviewed 2 or 3 times, but I can only pick one when I get to that point.
I just
I think his
remember
family
that.
might be from up, Cabricks up northeast.
No, they're over by the Little Cedar Sand Pit.
Is that where, okay?
That's where he grew up, his dad.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I think, got a lot of good experience. I think, you know, I've said he has interested many times before.
Yeah,
He started yesterday, so I just want to officially approve it today. I figured, could have waited another week, but he was anxious to get here, and I said, well, I know we've done that before, where they start a day in advance, even though you guys prove it post one day or whatever. So went through all the drug and alcohol testing, or the drug testing, and the pre-employment stuff out at the thing, and everything came clear, so we're good there.
good.
So I just recommend approving Bruce, start yesterday per the union contract wages, which was in the union contract, I didn't. You have that right now, so.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept Dusty's recommendation for hiring a Bruce Cabrick as an equipment operator 2 for the secondary road department with the start date of 12/9/19.
And I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve hiring Bruce Cabrick as an equipment operator 2 for secondary road department. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried.
I did have some really good applicants, which is good. You know, even with, you know, when I get like 20 applicants, you're like, am I gonna have a good choice? But there's some good people in there.
Good.
So, I mean, I'll work with Mike Galloway too, in case I have a retirement in the next couple months, whether how I have to work that, if I can just go with these interviews or start over again, but I'm tired of interviewing people.
Right. Right, because it does make sense if you could utilize that.
The same, if it's the
list.
same
Absolutely.
position, if it's something
Yeah.
different, if it's a 3 or 4, then it's a little different. So.
If they allow that, yeah.
Yep, yep.
If
You could
it's-
still post it if you wanted.
Yeah, I could post it and go and then
For
go from
anybody
there.
else that may be
Yeah,
interested.
Rather than going out to
do the whole darn
do
thing
the whole
again.
thing, yeah. If it could
I've
be,
done three positions in Chicken Run. I'm on my 3rd one over there interview, so I've had 3 interviews over there in the last year, and now I've got this one here. I'm just getting tired of interviews. So, yeah.
Hey,
the civil
Bob,
service does that.
Hmm.
They create a list that's good for so long.
So, yeah. And I think I've had that okay before with HR before regarding that, so.
Item 11, discussion with the county engineer about the collection site holiday hours.
Yes, and we did this about a month ago regarding the Thanksgiving thing, and I don't know if you guys heard any feedback on, you know, us doing that Monday after compared to the Saturday
I've
after.
heard nothing.
She said she didn't really have any complaints, you know, as long as she'll post everything out there, and then I know we put it in the paper too. So this would be for the Christmas, because you guys had approved a half a day,
Right.
basically. And so her hours on Christmas then, she'll get that half a day. Christmas Eve will be 8:30 to noon. I'll give you this copy, actually. 8:30 to noon, and then also New Year's, we're gonna go, so that way she has her full hours. Because if she went 10 to noon, then she's short 2 hours, so I just said, well, let's just move everything up, give you the 4 hours. And then the other thing would be, that Tuesday, New Year's Eve, she would just move up to 8 and work till 3:30, so that's not 10 to 6:30 or whatever it was, 10:30 to 6, not the normal hours. So that way on New Year's Eve, she's also off a little early. She's
So
still
she'll put the
there.
full day in, but it'll just be,
Just
it'll be
advance
start
that.
early and end early.
Yeah, just a little bit, just because it's the eve and
Sure.
stuff going. It's not like she were giving her anything extra, and then she also does get her full 7.5 hours in one call or whatever. So if that's okay, I know in the past you guys have been kind of open, so I just kind of took this one. I told her, go ahead and post these, and I just wanted you guys aware of them. So if that's okay, do you want that?
Okay, that's for discussion.
Yep.
Item 12, discussion with the county engineer about the Rockford shed.
Okay, so in the past 10 years probably halfway since I've been here, we talked about a new facility in Rockford, a bigger facility to maybe eliminate some of the smaller out sheds. Wintertime, have a sand salt building over there, because right now any of the hard surface routes that go to the west are all filled out of the Charles City shop. Kind of a pain. You get, and depending on storms, if you get empty, then you got to truck all the way back to Charles City enough to refill and go back out or whatever.
Yeah.
We feel that Calvin's been talking about this probably since before I started, I think. So this has been 19 plus years. We've been more talking about the last 10 years, probably the last 4 or 5. It's been more, hey, we need to look for some property. That lot that's on that our facility is now, it's just a very small lot on the north side of the main road that goes through Rockford, and there's really no room there to put anything, and it's right inside the house, right in the housing area. So through the grapevine, we've heard that there's property for sale. Gary, I'm gonna say his name right. Brailier owns property south a block and a half. It's basically where there was some old chicken coops there. There's sewer there, water hookup, everything that possibly could be there. I'm at the preliminary stages. I've talked to Gary. His son-in-law is Lynn Wolf, who works for the city. So Lynn's married to their daughter.
Yep.
I think it's Marlene and Gary. And I've talked to them already, and I said that I was going to mention their name. I want to make sure they're okay with me talking about them. And I have not got to that point of the procedure to go ahead and look at purchasing property. I would probably look at it, I'm not sure which way to go, because I know when we purchased right-of-way right-of-way is maybe a little different. When we did the 170th Street Bridge up there, we used a consulting firm to do that.
Right.
And I think I want to make sure we're doing it the right way. I believe Gary's told me to just work with Lynn. Lynn knows everything that Gary and Marlene want for price-wise, but I can't say that I could just, hey, let's sit down and talk and buy it.
How big is the lot?
It's, according to the assessor's office, it's 3.95 acres. That does not include, now when we list that 3.95 acres, does not include, there's a road to the east, but there is no road, it's just trees. There's an alley here, and then there's a road here, obviously here. So that 3.95 is just inclusive of no right-of-way. Obviously, because the cities, I think, own to the right-of-way where we have easements out in the country. So this would be 3.95 acres. Big enough probably to build, I think the reason I wanted discussion is I proceed with obtaining the property the legal way. Next thing would be, we could start with sand and salt storage bin, and then proceed down, I'm talking a process here, 1 to 2 to 5 years.
Sure. We wouldn't have to move this.
Right, we're gonna be where we're at, and we're not at the point of putting $500,000 into a facility at this point, but we could build the sand and salt building for $100,000 or whatever comes.
And then build it accordingly, so in the future you could add on to it then?
Yeah.
Is that what you're-
Well, I'm thinking is that when we build a big enough storage bin for the sand and salt, that we're good for good.
Okay.
But when we go to the facility, then
Sand and salt is never hooked onto a rig.
right, it's separate like it is out of the
It's
shop
gotta
now. But at least that way we can
Standalone.
stage it. Let's get the property first, then let's build the sand and salt. And then in 2, 3 to 4 years, we're looking at, this might be a little more in depth than me building my little Floyd shed, a 5-staller, because I think there's enough room there to do that. And then in the wintertime, trucks can deadhead out of there with stuff like they do here.
Sure.
So I just wanna, we're not at that point by any means as far as agreeing to a certain size building, and obviously I would work with you guys on, hey, here's where we're at, and obviously I have the money to do it. But I just wanna know if it's okay to proceed with looking at doing this.
The only
Yeah.
thing I caught you was, make sure you figure out where that old building went. Make sure you didn't dig a hole right square.
And dig it, yeah, I think you talked
Buried
real quick that day.
Yeah.
And I can talk to Lynn on that, and I'm sure they know, because
Right, right.
when Marlene was on the phone, I think she told me that they hauled all the old buildings out of there. And there's city water and
raise
there's city
capons.
sewer.
This is in Rockford.
Yeah.
Right
If you-
across from Scott Bruce's record.
Instead of turning right to go to our building, you go to the next block and go south a block. So our old facility is right here, and there's no room to build anything there. What we do is just remove that building and then probably sell that property.
Yeah, you talked about
We might not have to, yeah.
when we purchase right away and things like that, but value-wise, this is different than purchasing land for right-of-way, because when we purchase land for right-of-way, we've got to have that piece of property,
Right.
period. Where here, this is just a piece of property that
Right.
would work for our use. So
I think it's classified.
you'll have to figure that out as far as what a reasonable value of that.
Right, and my thinking was, I have my engineers conference tomorrow through Friday, and in the past, when we did the 170th Street Bridge, We knew we used, well, it's Grand Lang Acquisition, now it's a different acronym now, that firm that did, when we did the RISE project south of Molsted's, going out to there, there's a certain dollar value, and once you get above, it used to be 10 grand, now I think it's 20,000. So, you know, we're looking at 4 acres at a certain price, it's gonna be a dollar amount that's probably above and beyond. So I probably would utilize a company to do it so that we do it the right way. So if anybody comes back and says, how did you purchase this?
Right.
You know, fair market value, you know, you have to go through that whole process, so. But I just wanna make sure, like, well, you guys might do it probably with the houses over here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the county attorney.
Yeah, I will. This is just preliminary, just as happened within a week or two.
I
All of a
mean,
sudden
in
we're
essence,
talking.
it sounds like the right thing to do as far as getting a location that, so that they don't have to drive all the way back to.
Right.
And if you
Trail
know our,
City. I mean, that makes sense.
If
Sounds
you
like
know-
a good program.
Yeah.
if you know our facility at Rudd, and if you know our facility at North Springs, and the
We don't
facility at
know.
Marble Rock, yes.
I just
they are
caution
in
you-
rough shape.
Right, I just caution you in the fact that you talked about the houses across the road here. Well, they had to be bought for this project to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
Because of the location.
Right.
This particular one, yeah, it's a good location. It's a good, it's what you think would work for us, but it's not the only one in that area that
Right.
could work that way, so.
yeah, it's the only
Yeah.
one that we found that has water and sewer. That was one of the big
Sure.
things. Because we looked at the
Absolutely.
sheets, remember when we talked about this?
There's
in the past?
value to that. I'm not saying there isn't,
Yeah.
Dusty. I'm just saying that it's,
Yeah,
you know.
right, we're
it's-
not gonna say here. That's
Right, it's what the property's worth,
$1
not
million.
not bonuses,
Yeah.
right.
And I think they have something in their mind, but like I said, I have to go, you know, what they want to sell for, what they want to get for
Sure.
it. But that being said, I need to go through, and that's why I think hiring a firm to come in and do it the proper way to get it, and then say, hey, here's what we can offer you. Now, if that changes, that say, hey, we really want this, could we give a little more? I gotta make sure that that process falls, so I'll talk to the county attorney too.
Do talk to the county
Right.
attorney, make sure that you're.
But if it's okay, then I'll proceed for, obviously, there's nothing purchased until we get to that point of agreement, and then that would be, you guys help out, or figure that out at the end, that you're all on the same page. I can, I'll have to hire somebody to do it, but,
And you've obviously got money within your budget that is,
Yeah.
could be earmarked for that.
well, unless you guys want it.
No, well, that's what I'm saying, you're not looking.
I know you
for
guys got
extra-
a big project going on, I don't know why you
Right.
couldn't, you know, give me
Yeah.
100,000 or 500,000. Yeah, I think.
Then don't look at it,
Yeah,
Dusty.
yeah. No, I think, yeah, at this point, I mean, that's why I think if we stage to the point of getting the property and then to the next point of the next thing, it's just, like I said, a process that I
Sure.
would include in the budget as we move along.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all right with you guys, and I'm gonna kind of move forward with whatever.
I'm fine.
Yeah, and you're right, Doug, I mean, if there's site issues, if there's, you know, environmental or.
Yeah, I'll make
anything like
sure
that
I've
needs
talked
to
with
be
Gary.
looked
Gary's
at.
been pretty forthcoming. Like I said, I talked to him last week. I have not talked to Lynn, Kelvin did, and basically Gary just said work with Lynn on it. So it sounds like they're willing, now that they've cleaned all those old chicken coops out of there,
Good.
that it's something they just.
They raised capons for those, that thing in Cora that used to be over there, that big,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Ooh.
And then, I think there were 2 buildings there, 2 or 3.
Okay, well, sounds good. I appreciate that, you guys.
Yep.
I do have one thing, I need a signature. This is just the final voucher to release retainage for our pavement markings. Doesn't have to be on the agenda, not really discussed, it's part of secondary road topic, that I just need a signature.
Yeah, 13, discussion with county engineer about secondary road activities.
So that is just to sign off to release retainage and pavement markings that were done this last year. So write in little my name, I can date it if you want. Other discussions that fall under mine stuff is the collection site in Rudd. The old gas, former green service, not collection site.
I was gonna say, is that
Former
really
green
what it was?
service, the contamination thing, we did get a DNR report. That basically stated, just, because we were just talking
They
about.
cleared it.
Never asked about
They
that.
cleared it,
Ironic.
right?
No,
That's
day after I met with you guys, I mean,
That's
I
a
think we
fluke.
said something about it, all of a sudden I get the letter. And it just says in there that the DNR received this is from the DNR, Kate Meyer. Received a site monitoring report reference site. They submit a review, the report has been conducted as described in some blah, 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 administrative code. The DNR is accepting the SMR and revised Tier 2 SCR and is relying on Galen Heisterman, Iowa Certified Ground Professional. That's the company that does all the sampling. For compliance with DNR's rules and guidance, the site remains classified high risk. Please continue groundwater monitoring.
Oh,
So on all correspondence regarding this product, please include the bus number. So I just figured I'd give you another
And
notice that,
how often is that tested?
I think they do it yearly. I don't know how often they go grab samples, but I usually get a report about that thick. So I'm about 9-10 books deep down in my file cabinet that are that thick.
All the studies.
Yeah, so, I try reading it, it's gibberish to me, and it's, okay, I understand where the benzenes are and whatever's are and all that, but at some point you would hope that it gets done, but I don't know when that will ever happen. It's been 20+ years for me.
Well, it's never
Do you
gonna be
get-
done if you don't do something to clean it up.
Right.
Yeah,
Just sample
exactly,
it.
it's gonna continue to be that.
do you ever get
Solution.
questions from the city of Rudd?
Sometimes, but usually when we get these reports, it's just like, okay, I said, here's where it's at, and I just read the same letter, and then I'm like,
Because when I first got elected, I got asked about it.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, the mayor at
By
that time
somebody, yeah,
asked me.
from Rudd.
Hmm.
The solution to pollution is dilution. And that's all they're doing is waiting for it to dissipate into the groundwater.
More
It's not dissipating any at all, is that normal, that it's not dissipating any at all?
Lined with,
I don't know.
apparently there's clay all the way around it, so it can't move.
Yeah.
Could it be
You know,
just continuing?
couple years ago,
You'd have to
contamination?
almost remove and, but
There
that's
was
a,
the
Yeah,
city of
I
Rudd did a
agree.
paving
I think at some
project.
point we should start
You know,
separating
we've had,
that.
once they talked about replacing those water mains over there,
yeah.
nothing was ever done. Would have been the time to replace the water main, but it didn't happen.
Other thing, I guess, jump back on I did on the collection site. I think I'm gonna, it's okay, we've got good subs out there, but I might post on the board for 10 days just to see if I can get some other applications, just to have backups, if that's okay.
And that's just when she needs help, and
Right.
she can't be there,
She's got 2
somebody
or
to
3, but
call.
then some of them have other
Yeah.
jobs, so
Yeah.
one of her main ones, she took a job at the hospital, so she's still subbing, but not as
Not as-
readily available. So if that's all right, I think I'll just post on the boards for applications. Sometimes she gets asked about, hey, you ever need a sub out here, so I think I just tell her that if she gets that, have them come and fill out an
That makes
application,
sense.
and then I can review, and then, so if okay, I just forgot to mention that, if that's all right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Give you guys time sheet, did 2 weeks ago. One question that I do have, I know, comp board stuff, whatever, all that stuff is done, whatever. Anybody that's not union nor elected, if, like any of my staff, if they're interested in trying to promote that they should get a bigger increase compared to what you guys give, is there a good time, or can I just have them put their info together and I give you guys individual copies, and then you guys are gonna decide if you're giving more than 2%, 1%,
Well, doesn't our
3%?
union contract cover all employees?
Not in the office.
Not, like, saying my whole
No,
office
no, I mean the
staff
ones
is
that are
separate.
eligible to be, you're talking about, other.
I'm talking
that
other
are
than
not
union.
eligible to be union.
Like all my office staff and or the foreman. Foreman usually don't. I mean, some of my office staff, I think last year I came to you guys about office staff. And if they're interested, I told them I would ask the question. If they want to put something together, and I can just individually give it to you what the request is. I don't have a problem, I can support their documentation because they do a wonderful job for me. But it's whether you guys, it all comes down to non-elected and non-union are basically approved by you guys, including myself and everything. So I mean, I don't want to deny the fact that if they want to put something together.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, we've got the schedule coming up in January, the budget
Yeah, we can
process
put that.
starts, and,
It's on that copy.
Okay.
so I guess if that's what they'd like to do, I would say just go
We're
ahead
looking
and
for
find a
something
time.
July 1, and or for it depends on what the timing we're looking at.
See, my budget, I'm gonna do mine too, is fluid enough that I've usually put in either 2.5 or 3, no matter what anybody gets.
Yeah.
And then there's enough cushion in there that if we decide to do 1, I'm not gonna change my budget. If we decide to do 10.
2.5 is what.
2.5, we
Do
just
10.
decided
Catch that?
yesterday.
Good job.
Okay, 2.5. I threw the 10 in slide it in. No, I'm
Just
joking.
tell them you had a loose budget.
I'm
That doesn't
joking, I'm
help your
joking.
cause.
But you guys, you guys get, 75% minimums, and my budget is pretty good. And when I get to my review with you guys, you'll see that, my carryover is good, and we're doing that one in a T26 all the way up to the county line next year with $1.1 million project, so that's good. But I just think I need to do my due diligence for my office staff or whoever, that if they want to present something, that I can just give you an individual copy. if that's okay. And then you guys can take that into consideration.
Anyone else you would do at budget time, so I don't know why you would do this any different
I
unless
would
you're
say,
looking
that's why
for
I
something
said,
that you.
I mean, we're
Right.
going into budget, you know,
Yeah.
with all their schedules and everything starting the day after New Year's Day,
Okay.
and
Well, that's fine. What I'd probably do was just put it in your folders, you have it, and then at budget time, we can discuss if you feel if anybody
Okay.
should. And if you don't, then you're at 2.5, then that's where it's at, I understand.
Yeah, yesterday at the workshop, we talked about what originally we'd taken the position, put 0 in your budgets.
Yeah.
And the compensation board came back and put 2.5 for elected officials other than supervisors, they did 2. So we said, everybody just put 2.5 in for
Okay.
now,
I
and
think
we'll
that's
go
what I
from there.
actually
Now,
did.
it wasn't decided that
Okay.
that's what it is or anything else,
well,
but that's what
typically,
we said.
we
to
don't
put
have
in.
the compensation board meetings
after.
done
Yeah.
until after, and so we at least had it
Yeah.
earlier this year.
No, that's fine. And like I said, I think when I figured mine, I did 2.5 because that's what the union, I think, had
Right.
figured out.
Yeah.
And that's where the
so mine's
compensation
in
board
that
is
way.
done.
Okay, well, I just figured what I'll do is I'll ask if they wanted to do something, I'll give you individual, and then at budget time we can discuss and go from there. So I just figured I better ask rather than not ask. As far as other stuff going on, the last concrete on 195th Street Bridge was poured Saturday, that was the open rail. Thursday they poured the posts and the end sections, Saturday they came and poured the open rail, so all the concrete is done. We did rock the west side. I have to drive it after this meeting to see if we're gonna try to open it up. There's still dirt work that needs to be done. Now we're kinda in freeze up mode. And seeding and some other good stuff. So I don't know if it's okay to open it, I'm gonna open it for the winter. But if it's not, obviously unsafe, then we won't. But if it's, I know we went
How
in.
long has that been closed? 5 years? 4 years?
Close, 3, 4, or 5 years, somewhere in there. So it's not a big deal, but if it's decent enough that we can, the travel portion is good, you know, obviously the slopes and some other stuff needs to be done in the, down there, but if I can open it, I might do it, as long as it's not a hazard.
Yeah, as long as it's safe.
Everything else is on schedule for lettings. Our T38 project, should be wrapping up. What I'm thinking of doing for that T26 project, the asphalt mill and fill, is waiting, because the January 17th is the, I think, no, 22nd, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the 17th of January, that's the letting for our T38 project, which is asphalt. I'm thinking I was gonna try to do that letting for the T26 up in local, but I think I might hold off and do it in February, like 12th. That way, if anybody bid that project and they got it, they can come in and look at
Wants to do
this.
the other one too.
Yeah, and then we may get some good numbers, or those that didn't get it may say, hey, I need a project, so I'm gonna bid it good too.
That makes sense.
So we'll continue with that. Our bridge project North Springs, everything's ready for there for January letting. And then we've got 3 days, we're talking fast, so I hope you can type. How's your shorthand? The 3 projects that we're talking about with our day labor crews, because I did squeeze in 3, is west of the Fossil Prairie Park. All 3 are box culverts now. Very west end of the west of the Fossil Prairie Park where it tees in, that we'll let up here, because I think it's gonna be too big for us to just let local or take bids and do it ourselves. We're still gonna do everything ourselves, other than we'll take bids like we did on county line this last year, to put box culverts in. The one that's on the very west end where it tees into the Saragordo County line, just right there, we're gonna replace that one with a box. That one's gonna be a little longer, so that one's gonna be a little higher priced. Just south of the quarry, northwest of Floyd, there's that one there, we're gonna let that one. And then actually just,
You can do that
West.
one of the day labor?
yes,
We're gonna route those trucks.
they're gonna have to go west on 150th, and then we'll
But
just
they
dust
have
control.
another option
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, and then the other one, we can't cross that one, because then the other one I do is on that 150th, just west of the curve there that goes north. There's that box there that's close by Zimmer, and where Zimmer's rod maker thing was going on. So there's that box there on that one too. So we'll make sure that that one's done before this one, otherwise we're closing both off. So those are stuff that we've got lined up for next fiscal year. I want to say it after July 1st, but I think we would almost have to let all 3 of those, because our price is going to be close to our day labor limit. So we'll just do the same thing like we did on the county line this last year when we they provide the box that we specify and the crane, and then we just prep the area and put it back. What else?
So you do a lot of scraping of mud off the roads?
That was a lot. This year is just what a year.
What?
You know, I know the farming was a little bit behind because of the propane thing or all that kind of stuff. So everybody that was trying to scramble when they finally could towards the end of November, you know, they're coming out there and they're tracking mud on the road. So when we get the calls, we haven't had a lot of them, but a few.
I wondered how many you got.
So we'll just go out there and scrape that little bit of mud spots off, and if we have, we've been spot rocking up till last week or the week before too, so if we had to add a little rock, we did. Now that it's getting cold, of course, it's supposed to get warm again, so I don't know what the heck. But, yeah. So, and I know plow's been out, I didn't cover that since the last time I seen you guys. I mean, over Thanksgiving holiday, they were out on the November 27th. Which would have been that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. They were out on the 28th, they were out on the 29th. So we had a little bit of holiday time then. A little bit here and there. That's the main thing, I guess. Out boom mowing right now, over the shoulder cuts with the boom mowers. Just get ready we're basically ready for, we're in winter mode basically, I guess. You know, they were out yesterday for a couple hours, yesterday afternoon. That little bit of squall that came through that you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Snow squall.
Yeah.
Hard and fast.
Actually, I was talking to my son and he said that snow squall made the tornado sirens go off in Pella yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the combination of how fast the
Really?
barometric pressure dropped and the visibility and everything. Tornado sirens went off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything else that you guys do. Just keep plugging along and winter mode. And I know in downtime, if it's in between, we'll still make it 3x5 box culverts, with our own guys. So that always works really good. I mean, we go out and we place a lot of culverts during the year with those. So, and everything else. I'll go look at the sign up for, see when I'm here for budget stuff.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dusty.
Item 14,
I'll move to adjourn.
And I'll second.
we are adjourned.